Welcome to this week's edition of the mma-analysis podcast. I am your host, Lance Fishel. I apologize for Brad having to host last week. I know it was not enjoyable, but he did do his best, so don't give him too much shit. Newson, how are you doing? It's a glorious week. Great pay-per-view. The God is fighting. Everything's good.
It's an unbelievable sporting weekend. Obviously UFC Do Bronx fight week. Great boxing this weekend. You got playoffs in basketball, and then of course hockey.
Boxing.
And
Lacrosse.
And what else, Brad?
NLL playoffs.
Nope,
There we
NLL
go.
playoffs. Yeah.
I know somebody, a listener mentioned that in the comments section that Brad forgot that last week when we were discussing what's going on these days.
Did you guys watch the Champions League semifinal game with Real yesterday? Oh my God, that was awesome.
I saw the highlights.
Wasn't that like midday? Like, aren't you supposed to be working, Lance?
Dude, I do what I want. First of all, I work at home. I got two screens for work, and I got two TVs to watch.
So is that just forever? You're home permanent?
Even before COVID, I was home 3 days a week.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm in outside sales. I can do whatever the fuck I want. We have this one outside sales guy who literally just works from a different city every week. It's fucking nuts.
LR has no idea what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to hockey.
What's Edmonton?
I don't know. He can't even spell it right. It's an N instead of an M at the end there. But yeah, Edmonton won 6-0 yesterday. They should have won the first game, but their goalie is a fucking moron. So they will. They're gonna fuck some shit up and then probably lose in the second round. But it's better than the past decade. So
yeah,
and that's hockey talk for the week.
That's enough for that.
Yeah.
It's easy to watch sports when you work from home, though. I don't have sound on or anything because I'm usually on calls, like, all
just
fucking
multitasking.
day. Like, I probably average, like, 13, 14 meetings a day. So, like, I'm just constantly. But usually I'll have, like, one screen I'm going to call, like, a video call, whatever, and then I'll have, like, the golf on the other screen. Or if I have a little break, I'll put the TV on. So, multitasking, very important.
There you go.
Yeah.
How many guys are you going to have tie for second this week, Lance?
I haven't added up the yearly total of seconds. I know I've gotten second 3 in a row and 4 of the last 5. I believe I've hit the double-digit second place mark, which, if you think about it, there's 120 guys in the field, and I get second every week.
You know, you're really paying for that unreal year with just absolute torturous second place finishes. In the last...
I always have, like, I'm always up in golf, which this year seems going to be like a stretch. But last year, like, I hit fucking everything. Like, I had streaks where I'd win, like, 3 and 5 events. And how I bet golf, like, that's a lot. Like, 1 in every 5, and I'm making money. But this year, man, the seconds I've gotten, some of them are like last week's. Like, it was a backdoor second. I never really had a chance at winning. And then the week before, it was the Zurich, where were the teams, fucking gag. And the week before that, I had Cantlay, and he gagged, and then he beat me the next week. Spieth had one I lost this year where he was up 3 or 4 strokes over Tom Hoagie. Not enough. Just fucking everything.
Yeah, you should start betting top 5s, Lance. You're rich. Just put all your guys on top 5 as well as to win outright, and then you'd actually win some money this year.
It's National Hoagie Day.
Magic, I said I couldn't do your podcast at 6. This is at 8. You said you have to do it early. And also, my son's baseball game got canceled. A lot of rain. We got lucky. I was going to be like 45 minutes late to this, possibly.
This motherfucker didn't even give us a heads up. He's
the rain.
Praying for rain.
The rain was in the forecast like all week.
Fair.
So, you know, it's been tough. Helena's been gone for 15 days. She got back last night, so I couldn't do anything really last night. And then today we're supposed to have a baseball game. It stormed like fucking crazy here. So, yeah. But life is getting back to normal, I believe. Anyway, let's but sorry, Magic, I was misunderstanding. I could not join, though. It would not have worked. You said you had to do it early. We had the baseball games, a lot of stuff going on. But I am joining. I am going to be a guest on his podcast. I think we agreed for the Glover pay-per-view. I'll be joining that. So, all right, let's go to last week's, which I watched a lot of the early fights on my phone while watching my son's baseball game. I don't know if that makes me a bad dad or what. So I really only caught like glimpses of it, I would say. But we'll start off in the women's flyweight division because, of course, Shady undefeated Gina Mazzani, and then she immediately got cut, which I assume is deserving. You, Shaun?
She just has no cardio and quit. So much quit in her. I think our buddy Paul Shag had, I think he had Young round 3, and she quit before she can even quit in round 3. Like it's glad that's over. There's not much to be said. They're both absolutely horrific.
Yeah. Anything, Brad? You good?
No, move it along.
All right, cool. And then lightweight division, the Jew, Nathan Levy, defeated Mike Breeden. Decision. I feel like you could have finished this fight about 40 times. This was actually pre-baseball game. So this is when we were waiting for the game to finish. So I was able to watch this fight. Good fight. I enjoyed it. Jew power.
Yeah, it should have been Munich. I told you guys, and you were not feeling it.
Wasn't it like minus 175?
Minus 200.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess it would have been him inside, and then he wouldn't have won.
What do you want me to cut your sleeves off so you can sell picks?
Hey, he was just on Magic's podcast. Maybe they can get him on while you're on, and
I did give him
a massive episode.
I did give him lots of shit when I saw that the Sleeveless Wonder was gonna be his guest. That's a tough pill to swallow. Oh man, especially right after we told the story about the old guy in the bar. It was kind of good timing.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Things work out like that for us.
They do. It's all about timing. Trust the plan. There you go. Let's see. Drendine said need to have books list golfers to win play. So they do have books. It's called they have each way. 10. They have each way bets too. Where you can basically split your money between. It's kind of like a win place and show almost, but they do have that in golf. But the odds are just drastically different when you do it's like a win bet and then a top 5 bet where you can kind of split it. And they have like first, second different stuff, but the odds obviously drastically change. So I've never really gotten that. I've never had a fucking issue before. Like I get my dubs, but not this year. Not happening. Nope. We'll come back. Nope. Not this week, but maybe next. All right. Welterweight division, Gabriel Green defeated Johan something. Knockout. I only saw the highlight on this one, but he looked like he hit him pretty hard.
The Canadian. Of course Canadian? He was going to lose. Brad was on here last week saying that the Canadians are going to continue the resurgence.
And I gave him shit.
Not wrong. Not wrong, because this dude's from Quebec, so he doesn't count.
Okay, so the next one
the streak
counts.
Wasn't broken yet.
Why isn't that Canadian?
Because they want to separate. They want to be their own thing.
So does Texas. I can't just not claim them.
You probably should.
Well, I don't want to claim them. If we could just cut Texas and Florida, just right off, we'd do it. Probably California too, just to be safe. Got to have it equal both ways. It's too much. All right. Well, your Canadian friend, he'll probably be cut because he's Canadian.
He's only making 10-10. He's coming out of fucking Contender Series. He's gonna be a live body.
They cut like 18 dudes or something yesterday. I saw.
Yeah, those people were making more than what Dana White Contender Series fighters make, so they're on the outs.
The only one I was surprised about is they cut Devontae Smith, and I felt like that was weird. Because like he's fun. He lost to 2 good guys. One was a split. When he wins, he knocks guys out. He's cheap. Like boom. That's like every UFC fighter they want. So I was a little surprised about that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe the easiest bet I've ever hit in my life. Figgy Smalls defeated Daniel Lacerda or Daniel De Silva, whatever you want to call him. Submission knee bar first round. I played the doesn't go here. It was right around even money. I think it was like minus 115. Easy. Bang.
That was stupid. I talked about this on the podcast last week and then I didn't bet it. And then of course it cashes with absolute ease. Didn't think it was going to go this way. I thought if Figgy was going to win, well, these leg locks can just happen, I guess. So
that was a nasty one too.
That was just like it was the week before. That was another nasty one.
Yep. That was a good one.
When they work very well.
I got my Tour Sauce shirt on though.
Oh, classy.
Yep. No laying up. Shout out.
Yep.
All right. Heavyweight division, Alexander Romanov defeated Chase Sherman, Americana. Like, of course, that's how it was finished.
That's the classic, fight, right? Classic fat guy submission.
Yeah.
They'll
are
give him
key lock.
one more. They'll give him one more, and then they'll cut him. I'm
How many-
surprised they would.
I read when he signed the fight on short notice, he had like a 4-fight contract.
Yeah, because that's all their contracts are 4 fights. But then they can just cancel. Yeah. You can just cancel them anytime they want. That's what the UFC does.
Yeah,
I think they can only do it off of a loss.
Right.
I don't think you can do it off a win, right?
I think that is true.
I think Romanov's
except when you're
kind
ladies.
of a fraud.
Well, the ladies always bring it.
Yeah,
it's true.
Naturally. It's a Title IX
He
thing.
may be a fraud, but he wasn't. He was obviously going to do this to Sherman. The only question was whether it's going to be a TKO and sub and heavyweight arm. Yeah.
I like how he called out John Jones. Like John Jones has any idea who that is.
John Jones is fighting Stipe for a title shot or for an interim belt, but Romanov's calling him out, so I think he's going to switch it up.
Yeah, maybe instead of fighting for the interim belt, he just takes Romanov. I think that makes sense. Yeah. Maybe on like a curtain jerker.
Jones is fighting Stipe in an imaginary fight for an imaginary belt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine with the interim. The interim stuff never bothers me. Because what's the fucking difference if you think about it? No one's going to consider the person a real champ, obviously.
And the fighters get more money.
Anyway. It's basically a number one contender fight. So
remember when they tried to say that DC was the light heavyweight champion? That was fun.
DC, what a loser that guy is. Man, he had. Was it? I think it was it him? Which one was him and Cruz together? Was that last week?
Oh, I don't listen.
It was. Sure. It was the worst thing ever. And like DC always says constantly stupid shit. He's literally wrong. There was one fight he kept talking. Was this week or last week? He kept talking about this guy is going down in weight, so he's gonna look good because of this weight loss. Blah blah blah. The guy had went up a weight class, and DC talked for 5 minutes about how going down in weight is gonna be really good for his career. And then Cruz is just so open with how stupid DC is, and he just like, you're an idiot, and I just like tells him he's wrong every time. But the two of them together are fucking death. Absolute death.
We got DC and Rogan this weekend for a Do Bronx fight.
I mean, unavoidable.
They're going to talk about how he's a quitter and
how he's tired.
Rogan
how can he keep this pace?
Rogan loves Do Bronx. He's in the club.
Yeah,
he's in the club.
But he also finds a narrative and thinks that Do Bronx gets rocked every time. People have been tweeting out the highlights from both the Chandler fight and the Poirier fight. He did get rocked by Poirier, but like early on, he slips. I don't know if you've noticed this. He slips a decent amount in the octagon. Like he got hit, but he slipped and fell down. Against Chandler, I don't think he was that hurt against Chandler, honestly. After watching those highlights, he doesn't show the effects. Like he gets hit, and even if he gets dropped, he's right up, back, perfect again. I don't know.
They definitely oversold how much he got hurt in that fight.
Everyone just likes narratives. Like in the fight game, like there has to be some kind of narrative. But I think Do Bronx was hurt. I don't think he was.
He definitely got hurt, like dropped at one point in the first round, but they were acting like every punch hurt him.
Yeah. The hammer fist did not look good. I'm going to admit. I thought I was fucking dead. I thought it was over. I was crying. I was very emotional. He was definitely hurt. But I don't know. I've seen worse. This whole quitter thing.
He may have been hurt, but he's just still had his wits about him. Like,
yeah.
That's the Rogan special. Anytime somebody gets hit, it's, he's rocked.
Yeah, he's too good. It's just not fair. He's too good.
More on that later.
Comments. Who the fuck does Justin think he is talking about Charles quitting? Justin quitting against Khabib. Yep, Bruce, you are correct. The funny thing with this, the Justin Gaethje comments, my favorite, he said nothing but fucking nonsense. Like, he's the same guy who lost to Cowboy when he was 22. Like all these stupid comments. My favorite is like, he's gonna have to go through hell just like Khabib did. You mean easily take you down and submit you instantly? Yeah.
Those leg kicks, those calf kicks.
You kicked him in the fucking legs. Man, oh man. What else we got in here? Narrative leads pro. Yep, Josh, my bud, Pastor Josh. Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend though. Should be good. All right, what's next? Middleweight division, fucking asshole. Christoph Jocko defeated Meerkat 30-27 across the board. Lackadaisical, and of course the guy who said Meerkat was a wet blanket had another 15 minutes of bore. Would you go ahead and cut Jocko? There's just nothing there for me.
Yeah, he's Polish too.
He's just vanilla, but he'll beat some guys and not look impressive whatsoever doing it.
He does nothing fun.
Looking back, Jotko by decision at like over plus 200 was stupid.
No, I always ride with the same guys. I have auto bet guys. Meerkat.
Well, we all bet Meerkat.
Yeah, if he's not facing anyone good, which Jocko's not good, you got to auto bet his inside. Just things. Do Bronx inside.
He was very slow. I knew he was slow. He didn't
look good.
No.
He did.
No.
He did.
He was just waiting for Jotko to slow down.
There you go. Well, we got this one right. Well, at least I don't remember what you guys bet. It's been a long time. Featherweight division, the fucking damage. Darren Elkins just beat the shit out of Canadian Tristan Connolly. Actually, now that I think about it, Brad, you bet Connolly.
What?
He didn't bet Connolly, but he was saying that Connolly was going to win last week. But I think he was just being a...
You said we're gonna roll.
You said the Canadians were going to go 2-0. They're keeping the
I
streak
said
alive.
Canadians were never going to lose, and then we broke down the fight, and I was like, actually, the price on Elkins is way too low. You can go back and listen to the podcast. That is definitely what I said.
Anyway, the damage, easy. If he's fighting a guy that can't punch through a fucking wet paper bag, you got to bet the damage. If he faces anyone with even a hint of power, you do not bet the damage. It's pretty simple. If he can't get you out of there, then you can bet Darren. But he is what he is. This guy's fucking brain dead. And we always joke around like these guys going to be applesauce brain in 5 years. Like the odds of Darren Elkins living a good life are very low. Very low. Poor bastard.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that he would have got out of there in that style matchup.
He was landing some bombs.
Yeah.
He was landing some shit. I was not really expecting that.
Elkins versus Taporia. That's a good one.
That's just mean.
Well, I mean, is it
Taporia? Yeah.
Would that be any worse than random Russian number 7 versus Nate Diaz?
That fight is not happening. He is not taking that fight.
All the other fights on that board that everyone said was fake, they've announced in the last 2 days.
That is true. But then they just announced Volkanovski versus Holloway for that card.
But I mean, all those fights that they had in the list.
I know, but they also, I don't know. I've heard that there's like stickers beside people's names of like different colors, and it means that the like bout agreements have gone out maybe, but they're not signed yet. He's not taking that fight. He's not a moron.
I hope he does.
See some of the stickers though. Some of the stickers are like, "This is a tough person. This is a contender series person." That sort of shit. So
just really digging the surf White Claws.
Just
a
which one's that?
Drink.
Which flavor?
I'm finishing up the tropical pomelo smash, and then I'll be going to the watermelon lime smash, and then
that sounds good.
I don't know what's next.
I've got a blue raspberry Coors.
Coors make seltzers? Does it taste like water?
Surprisingly good. Better than Coors beer by many, many moons. And then after that, we got a vodka lemonade, raspberry vodka lemonade.
I can't do any of the lemonade stuff. Disgusting.
Wow. No. Nope. You just don't appreciate summer.
I can't do the vodka soda fake drinks or any of that. If I'm going to not drink regular beer, it's got to be just
That's what a White Claw is, isn't it?
It's like the seltzer thing. It's different when you have the lemonade. It's a different... The lemonade ones and like the vodka soda ones.
The vodka soda and the seltzers are one.
No, they taste way different. Where's Aaron? Someone ask Aaron this. He will help me. He's the expert.
So on a White Claw, because I got one of those as well. Tangerine, delicious.
Why do you have so many different kinds of seltzers in front of you?
Because I don't want to get up to get more drinks in the middle of the podcast. So I got a bunch of cold ones here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got a little spot to keep them cold, and just gonna keep cracking them.
White Claw's malt liquor.
On the one I'm reading right now, ingredients: carbonated water, alcohol.
Well, obviously it has alcohol.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't specify what alcohol. It's just alcohol.
It's malt.
Yes. It's malt, and that's what makes it a seltzer. If they use vodka, then it's a vodka soda.
Yes. All right. Anyway.
I like the gin smashes. I'm turning into a big gin guy.
Ooh, I think we've talked about this in the show. About a year ago, I turned into a gin guy. We were at some hotel or something. I've never been a gin guy. And I was just kind of working my way through the signature cocktail list at this bar or whatever, this hotel we were at. And one of them was like this London Fog or some kind of gin drink. And I got it, and it was fucking amazing. And I've been a gin guy since there. I only fucking drink gin. I haven't had anything but gin and scotch since that moment. Big gin guy. Yes. Real good.
Go.
Quality drink.
Yeah. I think, is that old? If I only drink gin and scotch, does that make me like real old?
I think once you hit 35, you become a gin guy.
Yeah.
It's been pretty.
When I got awoken.
It's been pretty recently for me as well. It's got to be something with the taste buds. And
are you 36, 37? How old are you?
I'm turning 37 this year. I'm an 85.
New Shaun's 30, 28.
I'm 30.
19.
19 going on 33.
Manischewitz. We're all out of Manischewitz. They don't sell Manischewitz in the South because there's no Jews. It's just
also, it's fucking awful.
It's true. We have matzah here in the grocery stores if you want to get some matzah. So that's good. Dr. Brown's, it's basically Jewish. All right. Next up, lightweight division. Grant Dawson defeated Gordon. Submission. It was looking dicey. I bet I had Dawson with the damage, and this thing was looking a bit dicey for a second, but then all of a sudden he just pulls a fucking submission out of that. If this guy could get his cardio under control, he is fucking deadly.
It's not going to happen though. We've seen it multiple times now. I had him in a parlay that ended up losing anyway, but he's good enough that he's going to get by a lot of guys, and even when he has the holes he does, he still will get by some. But there's going to become a time where a guy can obviously stuff the takedown and make him work, and he will gas and he will get destroyed.
His wrestling's good.
It is good. It's just only good for about
10 minutes.
8 minutes.
He's got great entries. I didn't know this.
Timing, good timing, yeah.
I heard it on the broadcast. He turned down a Big Ten scholarship. So he was like legit.
What an idiot.
Yeah, why did he
went straight into MMA.
What an idiot.
I know.
Yeah, that was not a great financial decision. He probably should have got a degree, so when he is done fighting when he's 30-some years old, then he can actually do something with his life.
Well, he can go back maybe and pay for it with all the money he earned in the UFC.
Pay for it with all the money he doesn't have from fighting. Yeah,
just spamming 10 and 10s all over the place. I thought he looked good, but I thought he looked good overall though. Like guys like this are confusing. Like I have a hard time getting around the cardio issue when I'm like breaking down fights and thinking of fights because like he's great with his wrestling and his top control, and he does not let guys get up. His jiu-jitsu is pretty good. He has good ground and pound, and it's like I just block out that he fucking gasses every 7 minutes. Can't help myself.
I'm pretty sure Brad disagrees with you. He is not a big fan of Grant Dawson, cardio or otherwise.
No.
Yeah.
I hate him. I don't hate him. I expect him to lose shortly, but I always expect him to lose, and he hasn't happened yet. So
gets through.
He does some dumb shit too when he's tired, like stuff you wouldn't.
Straight up just gave up against fucking Rick Glenn, right?
No, giving up
on for dear life.
Yeah, giving up's an option. Hey, you're finally with your
betting against him, losing.
You're finally with your boy Magic on this one. He said top 70 IQ bro Grant Dawson losing bad as minus 400 soon. First time you guys can ever agree on something.
I agree.
There we go.
All right, what we got? Featherweight division. Fucking way wrong on this one. Holy shit. Jefferson Brito defeated Andre Fili. TKO, 40 seconds. Just fucking battered his ass. That was bad. I was way the fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the way that Brito was gonna win, and he did it. Feely just had to fight a lot smarter, and kind of keep him away, make him wrestle a bit, gas him out, and then I think he takes over. But that's something that happened.
I liked him better when he left Kraus. Who left Kraus?
Dawson.
Dawson.
Yeah, but he did it for a dumb reason. His chick,
or ATT or something like that.
Yeah, he went to ATT because his chick doesn't have anybody to train with at Krause's gym. So then
who's his girl?
They moved to Florida.
Who is it?
Some like
his chick?
Amateur or Invicta fighter or something like that.
It makes sense to move camps for the guy in the UFC who's borderline top 15 for his amateur chick, so she can get some pads in.
So this Feely fight is where I'm happy about how I bet fights, because I have these like stupid parlays that I do all throughout cards, and I was like, oh, we're still alive on all these parlays. So some of them are totals, some are sides, just everything mixed together. Everything was still alive. I was like, oh man, if Feely's gonna lose, he loses in spectacular fashion. So we tossed a little change on Brito round 1 plus 2,200, and
there you go.
Pulled that one out of our ass to save all of the losses that I experienced or would have experienced on Feely.
He absolutely
that's a ridiculous number.
Deaded him.
Yep.
That was a violent finish. I enjoyed it.
He got knocked out twice and woke up twice and then seemed okay.
That dude's still young too. Like he's got some potential.
Yeah. Speaking
of
potential,
get some cardio. He's got some skills.
Speaking of potential, Andrei Arlovski defeated Jake Collier by disgustingly horrible decision again. This is the worst thing going in the sport right now is Andrei Arlovski. The worst thing going in the sport is Andrei.
The best.
This is such Jekyll and Hyde because Brad absolutely loves this. Arlovski decision is an absolute money train for him and Wes. And Lance, like most people, are like, I'd rather gouge my eyes out than watch our Arlovski fight.
I didn't bet this fight.
You should have.
But man, like people kept saying this fight was better. I couldn't even get myself to pay attention. Like I literally could not get myself to pay attention because I knew
it was better for an Arlovski fight.
That's not saying.
I think I was very drunk at this point because I don't really remember the fight, and I wasn't paying attention to it because it was an Arlovski fight. But between after round 1, Arlovski decision was plus 350. After round 2, Arlovski decision was plus 450. I was like, I don't even need to watch. Like, if this goes to decision, he's gonna win. So
it looked like a bad. Like it was hard for me.
It was a very bad
closely. It seemed like every time I was paying attention, Collier was beating the shit out of him, and Arlovski was doing nothing.
I think it was fairly clear 2-1, and some people even had all 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would go that far, but it's
this guy's a menace.
He hypnotizes those judges, man. I don't know what it is about him. I don't know if they just like feel bad or they're just trying to fuck the UFC by making him win. I don't know what it is.
It's almost a joke. The UFC's got to be fucking with us at this point too. Like main card, co-main event, like they must see what people say, right? Like USC is always very intuitive of what's like social media and surroundings and all that stuff, but they always seem like either do it on purpose or just completely ignore everything the fans say at all times.
He's probably making $400,000, and he's been around absolutely forever. So if somehow he can pull in 4 more viewers, that's worth more than putting him 6th on an okay card.
There's no way someone's like, "Oh my God, Andrei Arlovski is fighting. Better tune in."
There's some people that haven't watched in a long time, and they're like, Arlovski, I remember that name from 20 years ago. He's still fighting?
No one who remembers Arlovski from 20 years ago when he was good is like not sure if they're gonna watch.
That's fair.
Like, ooh, let me check.
They're either completely checked out of the sport or they're watching PFL prelims.
Yes, like I do. Yep. PFL prelims are great. I won't watch Bellator prelims, but I will get down with some PFL prelims. Yeah. All right.
Wait. Oh, it's goat season, not Do Bronx. Kayla Harrison is fighting Marina Mukhtarina or whatever.
She wore a shirt
her
that
name
said
is.
Legend Killer, and she's fighting a sandwich artist.
It's bad, man. Like when Larissa Pacheco is like, wasn't she like a minus? What the hell is she? A minus 600 favorite
against this random chick?
Yeah, she's minus 700
this
against something. Yeah, minus 700 against some chick. Like that's the talent that is trying to fight
Kayla Harrison. Yeah,
Kayla Harrison.
It's so bad, like the whole thing, and she's like calling out Cyborg and like, "Why are you ducking me? Like ducking what? You literally re-signed to PFL so you would not have to fight Amanda Nunes or Cyborg or whoever. Like, I'm cool that you did this and you can make a cool $1 million every year, and like that's great. Plus sponsorships, like you're making a good fucking living. But if you do that, you should not be allowed to speak. No one wants to hear what you say.
I don't like her, but she did sign with Bellator, but PFL got to match it, and they did.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think that's true.
That's why she was pissed on Twitter back
or something like that.
The Bellator should have upped the offer again. Also, what's the fucking ROI on a Kayla Harrison? Is anyone like, honey? I
mean,
get to the TV.
I know, but Cyborg fighting the whatever chick for the second time in back-to-back fights. I mean, she pulls probably more people than that lady, so I guess there's some ROI. Look at
PFL, they spent millions of dollars on Kayla Harrison. I bet there's not tens of people who have watched it because of her. Not tens. It's like you got to see Kayla Harrison fight some janitor. Like, is that really intriguing to people? When she fights in the main event, I turn it off before she fights.
It's not even fun dominance. Like, at least when Cyborg dominates some chick, she like
murders her.
She hurts her.
Yeah, like
Kayla Harrison takes her down and doesn't know how to do anything. She lands some punches and maybe hits an armbar. It's
brutal. Yeah. Nothing good about it.
I wish that PFL put any other division with their welterweight division, because the welterweight division's fun. You got Ray Cooper, Rory.
Well, they're all hurt.
Gleason fucking T-Bow.
Did you see that? Random Russian guys out, and Ray Cooper missed weight by 5 pounds.
Oh, nobody cares about the Russian guy. That's fine.
Didn't he win it last year too?
I think so.
Yeah, but nobody cares. Oh, Cooper
who gives a shit?
No, Cooper beat him, which was a bit of an upset.
Ray Cooper's the man.
Gleason T-Bow plus 240 against some dude that probably stinks.
I was going to bet Zeffirino versus some random Russian, and then the random Russian's gone.
Scrubs. Sad. All these fraud Russians.
I know. Terrible. Russia should be banned. And this has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. Yeah. Russia should be banned from MMA forever. Think of for every fun Russian, you get 10 horribly boring Russians who make you want to die. Not worth the trade-off. It's like women's MMA. Just cut it all. Cut it all. All right. Then finally, main event. This is the consensus, I believe. Is that right?
Yep.
Chito Vera defeated Rob Font. Unanimous decision. Beat the shit out of him pretty good. Landed about 700 perfect shots to his face. Rob Font landed 7,000. That did absolutely no damage. I've been saying this forever because people got up on the Rob Font hype train, the last couple of years. You cannot be just a striker and have no power. It does not work. It just doesn't work. If you are a striker, you need to have power. He doesn't. He sucks. Chito, real stupid though. Chito, next level stupidity. He could have finished his fight 6 times. Why would you trust judges for one? Or why would you put yourself in a situation? I don't. That was mind-boggling. Chito Vera.
Did he bet by himself by decision? Is
he
that
did,
what we're
respect.
Thinking? Because he dropped him and he proceeded to kick him in the legs for a minute while he got his wits back. Man, that he lumped him up. Marlon Vera, he must hit pretty decent because even some other fights that Fontes got hit, he didn't get lumped up like that. He is he's a fun fighter. I'm not too sure. He just takes it easy too much. That's obviously gonna bite him once he steps up. But against these guys that are just outside, right around top 5, he's fucking good because he's got big power, good variety of strikes, good scrambling. He's a fun fighter, but that activity is going to be the downfall. I think.
I heard Jan could be next, and you're not beating Jan like that. Well, he's not beating Jan regardless, but
Cartel that'll be the most boring round 1 in a long time because neither of those guys like to do anything in round one.
I think Jan's a bit too good for old Cheeto. I think this is the end of the line here.
That's a bit of a step up. That's for damn sure.
I think this is as far as Cheeto can go. Honestly, like I feel like this is his peak to me.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, I like him.
If he gets 5 rounds against some certain fighters, I think he can pull it out because he's so tough to finish. But
he doesn't even wear it either.
Yeah, he'll have to squeak those out.
Yeah. Him versus Sandhagen's kind of interesting. That's the guy above or
sucks. That's
the guy ahead of him that he can beat right now, probably.
He beats Sandhagen.
I'm just glad that we're inching closer and closer to Aldo champ in 2022. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. That might be my greatest prediction ever.
Well, Aldo would beat the shit out of him, though.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he's not out wrestling him. You think he's gonna body triangle him?
He would fight. He always finds a way to get someone's back. Look at the Jan fight. No one thought he could take down Jan.
Moron.
Jan
just gave him his back, man.
Jan's brain is smoother than my ass. All right. So
he does some pretty.
Aljo, I think Aljo beats him. I don't know.
It'll be interesting if it happens.
And don't talk about Corey Sandhagen. That guy sucks. Fucking loser. All right, let's move on now. UFC 274, Charles Do Bronx Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. There's a fucking ton of fights on this. Can we get some cancellations though?
I know, because it's gonna fuck up Toutmaster. I can only do 14 fights, and I'm pretty sure we have more than that right now.
There are currently 15, yeah, so we need at least
Why
one.
can you only do because of how the spreadsheet's set up?
Yeah, because of how Jeremy programmed it all. At the time, we weren't really pushing 14 and 15 fight cards.
No.
It takes a bunch of work to. He started at like 13, and then because we're consistently getting 14 fight cards, he did a shit ton of programming. But
if no one backs out, just remove Ariane Carnelossi.
And unfortunately, it's gonna be the first.
Why?
I was gonna say fight. I would get rid of the Journey Newson fight against Fernie Garcia because who are those people? At least in the women's fight, I can just pick the dog in Toutmaster.
I've heard of Journey Newsom.
I've heard of Journey.
Okay, well then you can break down this fight because I don't have anything for this.
He's really bad. I remember getting knocked out. That's it. The Costa fight.
Yep. I mean, Costa does have big power, so I mean, it's not the worst thing. But
anyway, we'll break it down. Starting off, bantamweight division, Journey Newson taking on Fernie Garcia. What is a Fernie Garcia anyway?
I don't know. You think when guys are fighting in LFA, they're probably decent if they fight a couple times. This guy fought in LFA 4 times, and he fought 2 guys that were below 500, one guy that was 9-8, and then the last guy was 4-2.
Pretty good.
And that got him on Contender Series, which he did. Fair enough. He did smash the guy out pretty early. I mean, that's what you do. But I have no idea. Jeremy Newsom, I guess, because he's the dog.
Brad?
Yeah, I don't really know who I think I put a Fernie Garcia on a windowsill once to try and get some greenery in the house. Just liven up the place a little bit. Fair. But as far as fighting goes, do not care.
No, I got nothing. I guess I'll pick Fernie because Newsom's we know he sucks. Like we're 100% sure. Fernie, we're just assuming he sucks, and I think that's enough there. So obviously not betting on this fight, but I'll pick old Fernie. All right, let's move on now. Women's strawweight division: Ariane Carnelossi versus Lupita Godinez. Nishan.
Godinez should wrestle fuck Carnelossi. Carnelossi has terrible takedown defense, but you're also trusting a Canadian, so it's a bit sketchy.
Brad, it looks like she was born in Mexico. Does that counteract with the Canadianism.
Depends on the fight. When she wins, she's Mexican. When she loses, she's Canadian. Unfortunately, she's alternating wins and losses, and she won last time. So that's another thing that's going against her. I think she wins via wrestling. I'll pick her, even though the smartest play is usually always just picking dogs every time in women MMA fights. I'm sure you'd be up in Tout Master.
I think I do the opposite, and that's I think I'd be top 5 in Tout Master if I just picked the women's dogs. I think I'm betting 10% on women's fights. If women's fights didn't count for Tout Master, I think I'd be winning. Brad?
Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like Carnelossi is ugly and has muscles, which is usually a pretty good combination if you're a women's fighter or a men's fighter. You know,
ugly than better, really.
Yeah. And Godinez sucks. Women's fights this level, take the dog. I mean, I'm not spending time breaking this down.
I'll take Godinez. Don't care. All right. God, they really start this card off with some bangers. Clayton Rodrigues versus CJ Vergara. Newson?
Viagra,
as I said.
I have no idea. This one too, like this guy went to a decision on Contender Series. I don't remember if he got a contract. It would be funny if he didn't, because now he's just a warm body and he gets a contract anyway, even if he didn't get a finish, which is what Dana wants. I mean, other than just a live body.
It was a Contender Series fight in 2021. He definitely got a contract just for winning.
Ooh, that is true. They were giving him away pretty easy.
No one wanted to fight, so they had to bring in a bunch of people at 10 and 10.
No, everyone wanted to fight. That's what I've heard.
Oh, that's what Fight Island is for, so they could swim there.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are flyweights. It's probably going to be a fun fight regardless. As for a pick, I mean, Rodrigues is a very, very big favorite. Should he be? I don't know. These are all kind of lower level guys.
Brad?
I think this Cladeson guy is all right. I seem to remember him being decent in his Contender Series fight. Viagra, he came out and looked like $1 million on Contender Series. That one I do remember, because he just like brutalized the guy's body. But then he fought Odie Osborne and lost, and Odie Osborne isn't good. So, I mean, the price does seem wide, but I guess I'll probably pick Cladeson.
The start of this card is not good. It's just not good. We should have just skipped the first 4 fights. The next one we don't care about either.
We kind of did. So
yeah, this is
true. Yeah. True. I'll take Clayton. All right, featherweight division, women's featherweight division. Melissa Gatto versus Tracy Cortez. All right, you Shaun?
Yeah, more just amazing fights. I think Cortez can probably take down Gatto. And I mean, I don't know if she does much after she takes her down, but so it's probably going to be a long fight. I'll pick Cortez to win another time where Brad is probably right. Just take the dog, but I do think Cortez has some decent wrestling advantages in this fight.
Brad?
I think if I had to pick something in this fight to bet, it would probably be Cortez by decision. But man, that goes against most things I believe in, especially when she's going to wrestle and her opponent relies on arm bars from guard. So, I mean, we might be in store for some real MMA, women's MMA shit in this one. What's the line on Gatto round 1 sub?
Round 1 sub is only 800.
Oh, they're on to us. Books are on to us. No, pass.
Yeah,
I'll take Gatto here. Tracy Cortez sucks. She's real bad. I think it's the first person she's fighting that has a little bit of a pulse. So I'll take the person with a pulse. All right. Hey, fights. Welterweight division. Francisco Trinaldo versus Danny Roberts. Yeah, Shaun.
Oh, I did not think this was the fight that was going to happen.
Lance is going by some crazy Wikipedia.
No, he's going by
order
Wikipedia. I trust Wikipedia.
What's wrong with my order?
It's okay. Sure Dog just has a different order, but I think Wikipedia usually is the right one.
Right, it is. Everything in Wikipedia is true. I mean, you can edit it yourself, and there's no checking, and you can put literally anything in there, but that's how you know it's right.
It's whatever the people say is what happened, right? So
you have a herniated disc.
You have one? Well, yeah.
So. I'm going to the doctor next week.
You're an old
hurting for a while.
Need a backiotomy. Yeah, I love Grandpa Trinaldo. This move up to 170, I mean, I understand it. He's 43 going on 75. So when you're that old, cutting weight is not very enjoyable. It's not like you're going to be fighting for a title ever. So I get it, but I think he was better at 55. He's still got it at his age. He's got a limited skill set, but what he does, he's decent. Like,
what is he good at?
He's got some grappling,
winning,
he's got
close
some overhand,
split decision winning.
Hey, some people like Arlovsky and Trinaldo just they got it. So, I don't really want to play him unless he's a dog. It's close to that happening. I'll probably stay away, but I think Grandpa Trinaldo does it one more time for all the grandpas around the world.
Brad, I'm assuming you're taking Grandpa.
Of course I'm taking Grandpa Trinaldo in this one. Not only because it's Grandpa Trinaldo, but he's fighting Danny Chocolate Roberts, who blows fights in the most spectacular ways. I mean, somehow he got submitted in the third round by Claudio Silva, the man who has about 87 seconds of cardio. And he got subbed in round 3. So, I mean, if they fall over and Trinaldo gets on top of them for 2 rounds, shit, he might even submit him if they do that. If they stand up, Trinaldo could be down 2 rounds and Danny Roberts could throw some spinning shit and get hit in the back of the head and die, and Trinaldo could win that way. There's a million ways for Trinaldo to win this fight, so I'm going with him. There's a big Brazilian old guy theme on this card, and they're all going to come through, obviously.
Just like the Canadians last week.
Different. Totally different.
I like Danny Roberts here. I think Grandpa's a bit washed here. I think on the feet, I don't think it's going to be that close. I mean, Trinaldo could land something and possibly hurt him for a second and not get a finish. But I think Danny Roberts is overall the better striker. I think he has more power. I think his hands are better. I think he's more versatile. And he's a lot bigger, too. I don't think Trinaldo is going to be able to get this thing to the ground. And if he does, I don't think he can hold him down. So I do think this is going to play off on the feet. And I think Danny Roberts is a much better, bigger striker than him. So I like Danny Roberts here. I will be betting against Grandpa Trinaldo and betting Danny Roberts.
Disrespectful.
Trinaldo inside. Danny Roberts always loses by stoppage. And the last time Trinaldo fought a British guy, he gave him the first 2 rounds and then knocked him out in the third.
He killed him.
300.
That was death.
Plus 300, Brad.
Beauty. Done.
All right. Oh, what a weird fight this is. Heavyweight division, Blagoy Ivanov versus Marcos Rosario de Lima. I had no idea either of these guys are still in the UFC. Literally had no idea.
You better check yourself. Marcos Rosario de Lima is on a 2-fight win streak. Also, both of those fights were in 2021, Lance. So I don't know if you've been watching fights, but this guy's on a heater.
Do you really remember Marcos Rosario de Lima fights? Let's see if I remember these.
I remember.
I definitely remember the last one again.
I bet.
You don't remember the green one when we bet on?
Yeah, we bet on
Maurice Green.
We bet Green. We bet. Was it round 1 or Green? We bet Green sub or something, right?
Green finish, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
green inside, I think. Yeah,
because we thought he would either get like a choke from the bottom or a triangle from the bottom. Yeah, I do. I remember both. I lost both those bets. I think I had Ben Rothwell and I had Green inside the distance.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had Rothwell inside because, of course, with every or almost every De Lima fight, I mean, save for the Green one, he usually gets a win in the first 2 or 3 minutes, or he gives up. I don't know what he was doing in that Green fight. Obviously, the betting juju that you guys had on Green was at fault there, but
not
good. Ivanov he's a tough bastard. I don't know if you've heard this, but he's been stabbed a bunch of times.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I never heard that. Is that recently?
Yeah, super recent. I think it happened
the most recent
15
stabbing,
years ago,
yes.
12 years ago. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago, actually.
He's tough, man. I don't think De Lima got fucking Rothwell out of there, who's
all he does is tap. De Lima, he just taps. That's why we like Green so much. I think we bet Green by sub, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, went real specific on that one. I think Ivanov can wrestle and get De Lima out of there. And I think Ivanov is tough enough to take whatever De Lima throws for the first 2 minutes, and then it's Ivanov time. I know he's been to a billion decisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row. He's putting Arlovsky. He's trying to catch up to Arlovsky's decisions, but I took him for a half a unit inside at plus 210. I think he can get De Lima out there. I think I'm just going to continually bet De Lima's opponents inside the distance forever until he's gone. Yeah, it seems to work sometimes.
I mean, fading him and playing other guy by sub against De Lima has been it's been good. The guy taps out almost constantly. You don't even have to really put a choke in. Just go anywhere near him when he's tired, he will tap out.
That's how bad Maurice Green is.
It looks like Magic said Ivanov sub plus 500, and then Nigel said below by forearm choke. I think that's a good one.
The Romanov special.
So I'm pretty sure that was the first time I've ever seen somebody actually go unconscious from a forearm choke in his fight against Romanov.
That's how good Romanov is, Brad. He's got all the technique.
Oh, fuck.
Brad, what do you got?
I feel like you can bet almost anything in this fight. So first of all, it's an Ivanov fight. And we're getting an over 1.5 at minus 160, which is when was the last time this guy had a fight that didn't go 7.5 minutes?
That's fair. But how often does De Lima quit before 7.5 minutes?
So that's the other thing that I'm looking, because I'm seeing the under 2.5. Exactly. You can go over 1.5. You can go under 2.5. I feel like as soon
you hitting
as
that middle,
I think I might hit the middle on this one. What's Ivanov round 2?
Just trying to hit all the middles.
You're looking you're too narrow here.
Yeah, I know.
That's Brad's forte. Come on now.
Ivanov round 2 submission plus 2,100. That's the ticket. That's the one.
If Ivanov gets an early takedown, De Lima is not gonna last 5 minutes. He will quit before that.
Ivanov doesn't get early takedowns. Ivanov doesn't even go for early takedowns. Ivanov goes for a first round of I'm gonna clinch you and hold you up against the cage, and then De Lima's gonna be real tired after that, and he might just tap in the clinch. Might be like a standing Art Jimerson that we see in this fight. He's just like, no, I'm tired. I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya. But I like Ivanov because he's not going to get finished. And if De Lima can't finish a fight, he's going to lose. I'm kind of surprised this price is getting as low as it is. I might actually have to bet Ivanov.
Yeah, I like Ivanov here. Just betting De Lima to lose by sub is kind of a must here. It's plus 500. That's not too bad there. Ivanov does have some subs. He does have some decent jiu-jitsu, which is not necessary when you're fighting De Lima. That is not a requirement to know how to do jiu-jitsu to make De Lima to tap out. Really, you just have to not get knocked out by him and then end up on top of him, and then you get the submission. It just comes naturally. So I'll probably throw a small bet here on sub here for Ivanov, just because it's something we do, and I'm due on that one.
Round 2.
The green
round
one
two
was like
sub.
I forget what it was. It was like plus 800 or something. It was something insane. And I was counting my dollars before it started. I was like, this is the worst line I've ever seen. Didn't happen.
Well, I can't remember if we were watching that one live in like a Zoom call or something like that. You don't usually do those, but
no.
He took Green down in the first round. And this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. Because he's gonna tire himself out doing this, and then he's gonna die.
It didn't happen. He was on top like the whole fight.
Literally, like I think it was probably at least 14 minutes of
like exactly what we wanted to happen happened, and we didn't even try. Too many smokes, too many heaters going through that body right there. All right, let's now move on to the preliminary card in ESPN. Couple good ones. Flyweight division: Brandon Royval versus Matt Schnell. This fight's great. I thought this should have been on the pay-per-view, but doesn't really matter. You, Shaun?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be fun. I'm a guy that's bet Royval a bunch in the past. I don't really like taking him as a big favorite because he does have obvious holes. I don't know if Matt Schnell has the ability to really expose that in Royval. So I think Royval is probably going to piece him up on the feet, and if Schnell does take him down, I think Royval's got a good enough sub game that he wins there. I'm just scared away from a guy that fights very chaotically and laying that much juice.
Brett?
Yeah, Royval is super fun, but a little bit flaky. But I think that he's going to bring out the Schnell that we thought we were going to get in the Nam fight and the Bontaron fight.
Rogerio Bontaron, the Raging Cajun?
Exactly. When we thought that Schnell was this kind of action fighter, which he was all through the regional scene, coming up to the UFC, and all of a sudden now he's trying to like turn into a point striker. I don't think that's going to work against Royval because he's just going to force you into a fight. And we've seen Schnell get clipped and stopped in all sorts of different ways, going back to getting choked out by nobodies on the regional scene. So I think Royval does get a finish here. I think he makes this fight fun. I do have him in a parlay with Do Bronx. Sorry, spoiler alert. I'm betting Do Bronx.
What?
Shocker.
No way.
I know. Crazy. It's not the most confident things just because he is flaky. I think you could probably also go under 2.5 here, just on the off chance that his shoulder pops out again or something like that.
Fuck.
But Royval, I think is the side.
Yeah, I like Royval here. He does some stupid stuff that makes you just kind of scratch your head. Just makes he just has bad decision making at times, where like certain positions, how he throws certain things. But I think in this fight, I think he's smart enough to. The only way I think he loses this fight is if he gets himself in a bad submission and gets himself in a bad position to get subbed by Schnell. I think on the feet, Royval's he's too fast for him here, and I think he's just too quick, too many kicks. So I think he can kind of do what he wants here, and I think he should just keep this fight on the feet. If he does take him down, I think you got to be a little bit careful, and that's his only way to lose. And I don't think Schnell's going to be able to take him down that easily. And Royval does have a pretty tricky guard. So I think Royval keeps in the feet, and I think he outstrikes him and wins a pretty clear decision. If not, gets him out of there in the second or third round. Schnell can eat some punches, and Schnell can be finished as well. So I do like Royval in this one. So I'll have him in a parlay. And we also had Matt Blackwell ask for a breakdown of Romero Polizzi, 3-time NCAA champ qualifier. Yeah, I know him. He was very below average. wrestler. So I don't know too much about it. I've seen him fight a couple of times in Bellator, but I will take a Olympic level wrestler over a 3-time qualifier, no time All-American wrestler.
This seems like one of those. Seems like one of those fights where YOLO's definitely going to get taken down in the first and second rounds. Probably not held down because like it's YOLO. He only gets held down if he wants to be held down, and then absolutely nukes the guy in round 3.
Or the guy can't take him down because there's no way he can take him down, and then they stare at each other for 15 minutes.
YOLO by decision. What are we looking at, boys?
That's the YOLO there. Stare at people. All right. 30-minute break. Macy Chiasson versus Norma Dumont.
Oof.
Who cares?
Big Norm of the mountain.
Yeah, Shaun, you got anything?
Yeah, Dumont's kind of a fraud. I know she has a bunch of wins, but it's 45ers and fraudulent 135ers. Chiasson's going up to 45. I don't think she's good either. I will pick the dog. So of course this is going to be the only women's fight where the favorite wins.
Yeah, Matt, I wasn't being rude. I was doing a bit. Just so you know. Brad?
Did he say
you do bits?
Everything I do is a bit. That's the whole thing. Anyone who listens to anything I say is an idiot.
Yeah.
We're nothing but straight shooters on this podcast, don't you know?
That's true.
Yeah, this apparently Tapology says that Big Norm of the Mountain is the 3rd ranked featherweight fighter in the which is embarrassing. That's all.
I don't know who that is.
It's one of the fighters in this fight.
Okay. Yeah, let's move on. Great fight here. Welterweight division. My boy Randy Brown versus Chaos Williams. You Shaun?
I think if Randy Brown is smart, he will try to take down Chaos Williams. If he does that and concedes, then he should probably get Chaos out of there by sub or something. If he doesn't, he might get nuked, man. Chaos Williams has big power, and if you fuck around on the feet long enough, you will find out. And I was hoping that Chaos TKO was going to be like plus 200 or better. I don't think it's got there yet, so I'm staying away. I'll pick him though. I'll pick him to get a KO.
My back is in such a bad way. You know the weird thing about this thing? I don't know if there are any doctors who listen to our podcast.
Of course they do.
It's only when I sit and stand. That's it.
Well, those are two very common positions there.
But if I'm walking around, if I'm twisting, I played 3 rounds of golf last week.
So it's only the process of sitting, like getting up and sitting down.
So if I'm sitting right now, since I've been sitting for a long period of time, it starts hurting. And if I try to stand up right now, I'm going to fall over. But if I go play 18 holes of golf tomorrow, swinging, I mean, talking about fucking nukes off the tee, no issue whatsoever.
Nothing's quite as physically exerting as a round of golf.
For a back, dude, twisting.
Yes,
that doesn't hurt.
That's true. That is true. It's called being old.
It's not true. Don't play into his bullshit. That's not true. You twist in golf, but there are way more like you play hockey, shooting, passing. Everything is more twisting than golf.
I would say for bullshit. Your back, a bad back, golf has to be like
golf's pretty brutal. There's a lot of twisting and torquing going on your back.
Like golf, you're literally.
But golf is bullshit because I can hit fucking nukes and I have 3-inch wide or round biceps, so it doesn't mean much.
Nukes also don't mean that much in golf, really.
No, but that's the fun part. When you don't golf, you just want to hit it a mile, whether it's a mile in the bush or a mile down the. Doesn't matter.
You just want to get that sweet sound. That's all. Yep. That's all I want off the tee. Just give me that sweet sound.
My short game's nasty. Just be careful.
I got nothing.
Artist
no
with
short
the wedge.
Shaun's more about the tall game. Ayo.
Hey.
I forgot where we're at, Brad. Or did you pick Randy Brown? Is that over?
He hasn't even started.
Yeah, Shaun was
you
going through about how he's picking chaos and all this stuff. I think he's forgetting that even though chaos has power, he sucks. Like he's not good at fighting. If he hits you with the first punch, then he might knock you out. If you're somebody like Miguel Baeza, I think he knocked that dude out in the third round because he has no chin.
The ghost chin. Yeah, the chin.
So I can kind of see how there might be some risk for Brown here, but he's better everywhere. If this stays on the feet, I think you can pick him apart at range. If it gets to the ground, I think he's the better grappler. If chaos doesn't land the nuke in this one, he's outclassed everywhere. So I got Randy Brown. I think I took him at plus 112, but it's around even now.
Yeah, chaos is like in the UFC, like, and how he's getting all these knockouts. He's literally, if he does not knock you out and catch you with one punch, he's terrible. Like, he's not a good striker. He has big power, and he can't really do anything else. And he's just clipping guys and putting them out. They're not going to get a chance to grapple too much or wear him out or get him down. And I think Randy Brown's a decently smart fighter. He usually does the right path, except that one time he got hammer fisted when he was on top by Nico Price. That wasn't the best. But like position wise and how he's supposed to do things and where he takes the fight is usually the right way of doing things when you look at how you break down a fight. And I don't think Randy Brown's going to fuck with it too much. I think he's going to, maybe work a jab a little bit and just work into some takedowns. I think once he gets into the ground, it is not close. And we've seen Randy Brown do that when he needs to take fights to the ground. He does. And I think he's just a better overall fighter, 10 times better grappler, better wrestler, better jiu-jitsu. I like Randy Brown here. I think he's slight underdog still, I believe.
Some places.
Yes.
Munich.
That's right. Downtown Randy Brown. Munich. All right. Let's move on now. I like this dude, Andre Fialho, taking on Cameron VanCamp. He's fun, man. I'll fuck with this guy. He's fun. Who's Shaun?
Yeah, he's fun, and he made me a shit ton of money last time out against my Miguel
Lost me
Baeza.
money.
But I really want to fade him. I have no idea who Cameron VanCamp is.
He's not real.
I do know he might not be real, but his record says that he's got a bunch of subs, so I really want to bet VanCamp via sub at like plus 600. Oh my god, Lance, you're just a fucking mess. I really want to fade this dude. I don't know if it's this time. I also don't want to waste a chance because Fialho, he's got good boxing. That's what he has. He has literally nothing else. And there's going to be somebody to expose him. No idea if it's going to be VanCamp, but I'll throw some dollars. Inside the distance is 440 or something. So I'm hoping sub is plus 600 or something, and I'll throw a dart on that.
Bradley?
So I was trying to find out who Cameron VanCamp is. I thought he was like the heir to the VanCamp fortune, which is like that indie music company. It turns out he is not, and that's why he's pursuing MMA as a career. Not
They could be poor.
So he's not only is he poor, but I was going through. I was gonna break down this fight real hard, but I clicked on his record. And I saw that in 2019, he lost to Bobby Volker. And I'm not sure if you remember, but Bobby Volker was old like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
I think, did Josh Koscheck knock him out? I feel like there's somebody that got smoked, or that Bobby Volker got smoked by in the UFC.
So. I don't think they fought
during his run there.
He wasn't in the UFC that long.
Oh, it was Robbie Lawler.
Robbie. It was Robbie's first fight back with the UFC.
When he first came back to
head kick.
So yeah, and that was the peak of his career, getting absolutely decimated by Robbie Lawler. So I mean, Fialho's all right. I still think he's got room to improve. He's got power in the first round. I think he probably just puts this guy out pretty early. So no on the VanCamp for me.
Yeah, same. I'm not gonna bet this fight probably, though, unless I can't find a parlay piece, I might throw it in there. But I'll take Andre Fialho here, and I think he's gonna knock him out. I think it's kind of a well-earned, easy fight, I would say, for him after a couple toughies to start. So yeah, I'll take him. All right, let's now move on to the pay-per-view, which I gotta say, I know there's some old shit on this card, but I'm down for this pay-per-view. This is a good pay-per-view. It's very strong.
Old fun
Starting
shit.
out, lightweight division, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, Joey fucking Lauzon. You, Shaun?
I'm betting Joey fucking Lauzon coming off a 2.5-year layoff.
He's refreshed.
Cerrone's going back down to 55.
He looks so old.
He's so old, and now he's cutting weight again. And this dude does not want to be in there. I don't know what he's doing.
He looks so bad. Joey Lauzon is fucking powered by dunks.
Cerrone got absolutely fucking mauled by Alex Morono.
Cerrone got knocked out by Connor's shoulder.
Yeah. Joey Lauzon, he still wants to scrap. I don't know what he was doing in his 2.5 years off, but he is refreshed, and he is looking to turn back the clock and take out Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
It's been 2.5 years since he beat Pierce.
JSP, who's gone on to fucking, what does he have, 3 wins since then?
We've made a shitload of money off JSP because of that Lauzon fight.
Yeah, he won 3 times in a row, and I bet him as him inside the distance a couple times there. He was a money machine.
Cerrone looks like he has his HIV moved to AIDS.
He's hit the downturn, eh? Yeah, I got Lauzon inside the distance plus 320 for half a unit. Let's go.
Brad, Joey fucking Lauzon dunks.
I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. If I could, then it would have been Munich. But I
asked you.
I mean, one of these guys in his last 5 fights, I know he doesn't have a win in those 5 fights, but he's fought Alex Morono, who is not good, but is at least he is a serviceable welterweight in the UFC. He's fought Nico Price, Anthony Pettis, McGregor, and Gaethje.
Dude, Joey Lauzon almost beat Chris Grutzmacher.
Morono couldn't finish Mickey Gall. He could not finish Mickey Gall, and he finished Cerrone inside of 1 round.
Easy.
He almost died against Chris Grutzmacher. It was so bad. It was so bad that we got a corner stoppage. That's how bad he looked against Grutzmacher. We never get corner stoppages in MMA. So
yeah, but that fight was in New York. He's a Boston guy. It just wasn't. It didn't make sense.
It wasn't happening that night. He was off.
Maybe he's taken these 2.5 years and he's done lots of steroids and he's gonna be Joey fucking bricked up Lauzon in this one. But man, Cerrone is a better striker than him. He's a better wrestler than him. He's got better cardio than him. If Lauzon doesn't fuck him up in the first round, and it's not going to look good for
Why do you think
JFL.
Cowboy can physically fight for more than 5 minutes without passing out? Did you see how bad he looked yesterday? He looked like
he's melting.
A retirement home.
I don't look at the weigh-ins and the pre-fight press conferences.
I'm just talking about, have you seen
I'm just saying I don't look at any. No.
Dude, Brad doesn't want to see these people before he bets them.
Yeah.
Brad, look at a picture of him yesterday.
I'm sure he looks great. He looks like a grizzled vet.
He looks 70.
What's the easiest way to find a good picture of Cerrone recently?
I don't know. It was all
Grandpa
over Twitter.
Trinaldo looks like he's 92, and I'm probably going to bet him as well.
Cerrone looks like he could be Trinaldo's dad.
Awesome. That sounds great. That's a great lineage right there.
He looks like an old catcher's mitt.
He looks like a homeless dude, if I'm being honest.
And he,
that just means that He's been doing work on the ranch. He's gone back to like the Rocky training from Rocky 4 when he was in the mountains doing the thing for Drago.
Also, the video that I saw of him was on Wednesday, and he already looks sucked down.
He also started crying at media day.
Wow,
I don't know
what's wrong with a man showing his emotions, Shaun?
I'm just saying.
Like, I'm just crying because my son. Like, what? Did something happen?
My
to him?
son and I.
Why do you guys
I can't control my emotions anymore from the damage I've taken.
It was all over Twitter.
From the brain damage I've suffered.
Dude, watch the 30 seconds of Cerrone talking. Like, he looks like.
Nah, I'm good.
Dude, I'm telling you, it'll change. He looks so fucking bad and old, and he's already sucked down. And he was crying because he said I was thinking about walking down the tunnel, and then my son, like, your son's gonna like watch you get knocked out again. Like, are you sad that that's gonna happen? Like, you don't have to fight.
If he looks as bad as everyone says, I'm just gonna wait until Saturday night, and I'll get Cerrone as a dog, since Lauzon's gonna kill him, even though their careers tell a completely different story.
Brad, he uncontrollably crying at the press conference, and he had to stop. I'm gonna put a picture.
He had to stop crying?
He had to stop talking because he couldn't get any words out because he was crying so much, and it made no sense.
Yeah. Think about all that emotion coming into the fight. He's gonna kill Joey.
I sent you a picture, Brad.
I don't want to see Joey die.
I sent you a picture, Brad, but the picture does not do it justice versus the video.
I'll go and look at your stupid video.
Yeah, it's gonna be as good as his Saturday Night Live bit that he made us watch that one time.
Burn Notice?
Oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Burn Notice. It was another one that you made us watch, and it was not good.
Oh, Bangor, Maine?
I think so.
Yeah, where they did like the Bayou thing.
You in Bangor, Maine now, boy. Good one.
What are you talking about? He looks bad. He looks like fucking Jan Blachowicz. This man looks great.
He looks so bad.
He's gonna kill Lauzon. That's
he looks
great.
like he hasn't slept inside of a house in 9 months.
Nope.
Yeah. What better training is there for a fight than that?
He's at the ranch, man.
He's got Leonard Garcia with him.
Are you taking Cowboy, Brad? Is that where we ended up here?
Yeah, I'm picking Cowboy. Probably gonna finish him round 2, round 3, maybe.
You bet them?
Not yet. I just said I'm gonna wait until he's the dog on Saturday because everybody's so confident.
He's not coming a dog. He's minus 170. Come on now.
He looks like a burn victim.
He looks like he's on death's doorstep.
I like Joey here. I think everything Brad said could be true. He's a better grappler. Maybe he's a better wrestler. Maybe he's a better striker. But what Lauzon does is what's been beating Cowboy. Lauzon, as soon as that bell rings, he is sprinting in your fucking face and he is throwing bombs. Now he might get knocked out, but Cowboy does not now know how to react to when someone throws punches at him. So he just takes a quick nap. Like anytime someone like bum rushes Cowboy, even if a guy comes in and starts throwing shoulders like this, Cowboy's going down. Like it's all he knows how to do now is go down. I think Lauzon comes out ultra aggressive in this fight, winging punches, throwing elbows. I think Joey fucking Lauzon gets him out of there in like a minute and a half because he fights so aggressively. As soon as the bell rings, he's not feeling anyone out, and I just don't think Cowboy can deal with that. And I think it, plus 275, plus 300 on Joey fucking Lauzon inside the distance. That's a must bet to me. So that's gonna be the pick. That's gonna be the play. Joey fucking Lauzon. All right, next up, the rematch no one wanted, light heavyweight division. Mauricio Shogun Hua, who tapped the strikes to the Bear Jew, takes on Oth. Newson.
Both of these guys. Shogun's 40. Oth's just turned 39.
Oh, I can't get up.
You're a sad old man.
That was a bad one.
I think that's what Shogun says too when he's getting off the couch.
Yeah, this is looking very similar. I'm not convinced this happens. I'm still assuming one of these guys is going to pull out, likely Shogun. He's going to get injured getting out of bed one of these days. I don't want any part of this fight. like Lance said, last time out, Shogun looked horrible, getting the shit beaten out of him by the Bear Jew. And Osp has been terrible. He's fought heavyweight, looked horrible. Light heavyweight, looked terrible. He probably wins. It is Shogun in 2022. But no thanks.
Brad?
It's Shogun in 2022. But Shogun in 2022 is like the exact same guy as Shogun in 2014. And Osp in 2022 is very much not that. He does not care about MMA anymore. He went up to heavyweight. He sucked at heavyweight. He tried to come back down to 205. He missed weight at 205. I mean, he just looks like he would rather be doing anything else. He's got no cardio. I don't even think he has the energy to go in and bum rush Shogun like he did in their fight. So I think we get a shitty, slow-paced striking battle in this one. I haven't even looked at the over, although that's probably a good play. Is it a 1.5 or 2.5 on this one?
The over is never a good play, just to be clear.
1.5 minus 145.
Ooh. I think we get a slow-paced kickboxing fight. I got Shogun to take a decision at like plus 500 or plus 510 or something. I threw that in something silly. I've got Shogun plus 210 in a round robin. I mean, Brazilian legends are just going to get it done on Saturday. Shogun is going to do the damn thing. He's been working in slow motion for a decade now, and this is all new to Osp. He's not going to be able to handle it. Shogun for sure.
I hope Shogun hasn't been training for the last year and a half so that his knees are still in the same shape that they are in that Bear Jew fight.
Just hard sparring for the last year and a half for Shogun. I like Osp here. I think Shogun is just next level, like Wash at this point. Like, think of the first Bear Jew fight, the draw fight. Bear Jew was beating the shit out of him on the feet. Now, I love my man. I am probably, as you could guess, the biggest Bear Jew fan in the world. There's no way anyone likes the Bear Jew more than me. Impossible. I am the Bear Jew, right? But man, you shouldn't be beat up on the feet by the Bear Jew. So Shogun's wash. And that was a couple of years ago. He need more wash now. And yes, Osp is definitely washed as well, but it's not like he's losing to complete bums or the heavyweight thing was just stupid. Like, he's never going to win at that weight. He lost to Jamal Hill, whatever. I think in this fight, I think he does the same thing. I think he beats the shit out of Shogun, knocks him out. Shogun cannot take a punch. Shogun's the guy that gets knocked out by a jab now. So I think Osp can throw a jab, knock him out. I actually like OSP inside the distance. It's around even money. I think that's a pretty good bet. So, yay. Sorry, Shogun. You can go to Bellator, maybe PFL. You win $1 million still.
Oh, if Shogun goes to PFL and gets back on the juice, oh, man, I'm all for that.
How come Vitor didn't go to PFL and juice up and win $1 million anyway?
Because he went to ONE FC or wherever the hell he fought, Holyfields.
Have you ever noticed anytime anyone goes to ONE FC, they just disappear from the face of the earth? You never hear about them again.
Yeah, I think
8 billion people watch
the triangle of MMA.
Yeah.
Except Johnny fucking Lineker. We still find his fights.
Well, yeah.
All right.
He's literally the only one in ONE FC that I tune in for. Yeah. The only person.
Johnny fucking Lineker, of course.
Yeah.
All right. We move on. Lightweight division. Michael Chandler. Turd Ferguson. Speaking of looking bad, Turd looked not in his 30s. He looked bad. Old Turd Ferguson. He talked for like an hour about how he's mistreated and blah, blah, blah. Motherfucker hasn't won a fight in like a decade. Fucking turd, man. Plus, we're only 3 months removed from Black History Month, so maybe show a little fucking respect for Michael Chandler. You, Shaun?
Turd Ferguson's last win, of course, was the finish of Donald Cerrone 3 years ago.
Doesn't count.
He is looking weathered.
Dude, it's bad.
I think this might get sad. Depends if you have no heart like Lance, or if you do have a little bit of a heart. I honestly, if you want to bet Tony Ferguson, I think you should bet him by sub. You can get some stupid numbers. It's like plus 1,400 at some legals. I think that's probably not a bad idea because I don't think he can win on the feet. I know Chandler has shown that he's got one round in him. When there's not much coming back, which I don't really expect there to be.
The Gaethje fight, he was pretty active in the third.
Yeah, he was just kind of beat the fuck up, so it's a little... Yeah, he looked okay. He had some second and third wins, which he didn't previously have. I think he can get Tony out of there early. I don't think there's many 155ers that hit as hard as Michael Chandler in round one anyway. And even if he's, not getting him out of there, I think he can take down Tony. Tony's takedown defense is absolutely terrible, and Chandler can wrestle. I think he can smash him when he's on the ground. So I'm looking to take Chandler TKO. I think it's around plus 100, around even money. I haven't bet it yet, but I think that's the way I'm going to go. I know Ferguson's been durable as hell for his entire career, but I think the wheels are going to fall off on this guy.
He also seems just doesn't give a fuck at all anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight. He's absolutely pissed.
Dixon said Turd Ferguson's the worst wrestler he's ever seen with the USA Wrestling tat. It's pretty close.
Yep.
Pretty close. Chandler was a legit wrestler. Like, he was...
Cody Durden?
Oh, he does have a USA Wrestling tat.
Yeah.
Did he even wrestle in college?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he probably had to. He probably knocked up some girl in high school and had to get a job, so he couldn't go wrestle, even if he was any good at it.
At the factory.
Yeah.
Brad.
I mean, this is.
Don't do it.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it.
He's gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. I have to do it. I don't even like Tony. I mean, I think he's a dickhead. He's awful in interviews to anybody that I've ever watched do an interview with him. I don't know how our dude Aaron suffers through talking to that man. But nobody ever.
Brad, hold on. I went to Cody Durden's Wikipedia page.
Yep, me too.
He was a good high school wrestler. It says he was offered a scholarship in the United States Military Academy in West Point, but due to the arrival of his son, he had to start working.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
Oh my god, that is so
perfect.
Great. That he was a good. I was close. He was a construction worker.
He knocked a chick up, got a scholarship to wrestle at the military academy, and so he said, "Fuck it," and I'm gonna be a construction worker, and I'm gonna train to be a shitty fighter.
Oh, that is just too good. That is too
Perfect.
good. I'm sorry, that's too good.
You guys interrupted me. I was in the flow state.
It was too good not to interrupt you. Forget about it.
I was ready to give the greatest breakdown that the world has ever seen about how nobody's gonna knock Tony Ferguson out in the first round, even though Chandler has more potential than anybody to do it, and I fully recognize that. But honestly, I think Chandler is going to have to wrestle to win this fight, and I'm not sure how committed he is going to be to wrestling. If he does, he's going to win a decision. And I think it's far more likely that he wins a decision than he stops Tony in this fight. But if he doesn't wrestle, then, I mean, there's going to be a lot of volume. You can talk about how washed Tony is all you want, but if you go back to that Gaethje fight, he was throwing a shitload back at Gaethje, landing a shitload on Gaethje. I mean, he was landing more in rounds 2 through 4 in that fight than Chandler was landing late in his fight with Gaethje. So I think if this gets out of the first round, and I expect it to because Tony's got a stupid brain and stupid skull that can absorb punishment, I think it's going to get interesting. My galaxy brain take here is that, remember back in Tony's run when he was always losing the first round, and then he would come back and cut dudes with elbows and mark them up, and they would panic and shoot into shit. I could see a sub coming from Chandler shooting into like a Darce or something silly like that. I could see a doctor's stoppage from some ridiculous cuts because Chandler swells up like very few fighters not named Diaz. Or volume in rounds 2 and 3 from Tony, taking a decision. Or even better than that, Chandler beats his ass so bad in round 1, gasses, Tony wins rounds 2 and 3, draw. It's probably like plus 8,000. So live.
Yeah. First of
all
all,
that to say, Tony.
That Gaethje fight, the 4th and 5th round, he's still got his shit kicked in those rounds. He might have been throwing back. He was getting fucking massacred. That was also 2 years ago. And he also took 2 shit kickings since then.
Did he though? Like he got taken down and you know, Do Bronx hurt his elbow, and I think Dariush had a heel hook on him, but it's not like he took a bunch of brain trauma in those fights.
Dude, he takes brain trauma every day just trying to tie his shoes.
Yeah, leading up to those fights, he took a bunch of brain damage, and then the sub guys just stretched him out a bunch of ligaments.
He was complaining yesterday that he doesn't have health insurance. He does have health insurance. I don't understand.
Yeah, but you have to give them the card. But, and that's what he can't figure out, is how to get the card.
Maybe he should ask Nate Diaz. They seem to be on the same IQ level there. I like Chandler here. I think he does whatever the fuck he feels like. Tony does have a good guard, but I don't see him pulling a sub off him. Like, Chandler has a good base. I don't think he's getting subbed in that position. And I think it's Chandler early, just lands a shot, takes him out. Or if Chandler does get a little bit tired, he can just take Tony down whenever the fuck he feels like it. So I think in that 2nd and 3rd round, Chandler can still be the better striker because he's a way better striker. And then I think if he gets a little tired, needs to work some takedowns, he can. I don't see this fight being close. I don't see Tony getting out of the 1st round, honestly. But Tony has been durable, so he might just get his absolute shit kicked in for 15 minutes to make the decision. So I'll probably just be throwing Chandler in a parlay, but I do not like I don't like Turd at all in this fight. I think he's done. I think this is his last fight in the UFC. And then he'll go to Bellator and lose and then still complain about something else. The guy's just a loser. All right. Anyway.
Over 1.5. I like the over 1.5 here. And Magic.
No.
The only reason that I'm betting it pre-fight and I got plus 350, not plus 300, all right? Because value, all right? I'm all about value, is because I'm probably going to be too drunk by the time the fight rolls around to be tossing out live bets. So, you know,
fair.
You got to take your advantages when you got them.
Fair. Yep. All right. Coming in, women's strawweight, which I'm not a huge women's MMA fan, but like Rose's fights I can usually get down with. They end up being super or decently interesting. So there's worse. Like, it's not Holly Holm, so I'm okay. All right. Rose Namajunas, Carlos Esparza, rematch from a long time ago. Newson.
Yeah, I think Rose wins this fight. I think she gets Esparza out of there. Like, I know Esparza finally finished a lady last time out. That was super weird. All of a sudden she threw some elbows and the Asian lady was just like, I don't want to fight after I get elbowed and I can see my own blood. Before that, she was winning extremely close split decisions, majority decisions against fighters that are not as good as Rose. Rose can still be taken down, but she has worked on her bottom game and her get-up game. I think she makes Esparza work and kind of takes over and probably gets a sub. So I took under 4.5. It was plus 172. That seemed a bit high. Like, I think Rose fights in pretty high-paced fights. It'll be curious to see if Esparza can keep up with that pace, and then if there's a bunch of grappling. I kind of like the under. I think Rose is the one to do it.
Brad?
Yeah, I don't know how you find Rose fights exciting. They suck. Except when she loses. When she loses, it's awesome. Because Chud Rose is one of the people that I dislike the most in
As a
MMA.
person, 100%, yes.
Yeah. So the thing here is she is mentally weak. We know this. Usually I don't go down this road because mental health is important. But as soon as Esparza gets that first takedown, Rose is going to have PTSD flashbacks to the first fight. She's going to start picturing a dolly coming out a window. She's going to see, glass on a bus move like 17 seats in front of her, and she's just going to flip out.
Knock her out.
Might not even, yeah, yeah, exactly. Carla, she's not like a physically imposing fighter, but technically she knows how to get some takedowns. And I think the last time that Rose fought somebody who could wrestle or knew what wrestling was Carla back in 2014 or whenever that fight happened. Ever since then, she's been fighting a whole bunch of strikers. And one of those strikers, Jessica Andrade, decided to pick her up and throw her on her head just for good measure. Showed she still can't wrestle. Last fight against Weili Zhang showed she still can't wrestle. So Carla's going to get takedowns here. And it's just a matter of how much Rose freaks out. Does she lose a decision or does she quit at some point and give up the sub? So I took a little Carla straight at plus 185. I took a little Carla sub at plus 1,500 and plus 1,800 now. So yeah, I can't wait for Rose to lose the belt and then Pat Barry to tell her, you know what, you're too old for me now. I need to find somebody who's under the age of majority that can't, apply to the army or any of that. And I need to get all up in that. So
he's going back to high school.
Rough weekend. It's going to be a rough weekend for Rose.
I like Rose in this. One, Rose is a much different and better fighter than she was.
Is she?
Obviously 8 years ago. She was not the striker at all back then. No. She's 20 times better the striker. Rose back then was just trying to get subs. Like that was most
flying
of her
arm bars and shit like that, flying triangle, whatever.
And Rose now is just different, and I find it hard to believe that Carla. I think she gets takedowns. I do think Carla gets takedowns, but Rose gets up, and I think on the feet it's not close at all. I don't know if Rose is going to get a finish or not, but I think when they're on the feet, she's going to make her pay. And I think on the ground, she has a pretty active guard. I think she can either threaten with subs, get up, get it back on the feet, and then just work her on the feet. I just think she's just so much better on the feet. And it's hard to just rely on Esparza to hold her down for 25 minutes. I don't think she can do that to Rose. Rose is pretty active under there. She can get up. And I think Rose just beats on her a good bit. Like, I don't want to live in a world where even women's MMA, as shitty as it is, that Carla Esparza is going to be a champion. I don't want to do that.
It's the only world I want to live in.
I don't want to do it. So I like Rose here. I think she's just too much on the feet and gets the dub. All right, moving on. Lightweight division championship. The best lightweight in the history of the world. Charles Do Bronx Oliveira taking on Justin Gaethje. Certified moron. Newson.
Yeah, I don't know. Gaethje smokes a little bit too much weed, I think. He's not really making sense. He's trying
to together, that guy.
He's trying to, I don't know, hype himself out, trying to create a narrative. It's that shit's gone. If the last two fights haven't clued you into Do Bronx and what he can do, then there's no helping you. So I'd like Do Bronx here. I mean, he can grapple with Gaethje if he wants. I think he can take him down and do some damage on the ground. And on the feet, he's so good. Like, he looks like a natural striker, which is wild to think back when he started in the UFC. The first round is always scary. but I think Gaethje is going to try to play the long game, I think, a little bit too much and try to chop down Do Bronx. So I think Do Bronx is going to time one of those calf kicks and crack him, and then madness ensues. So BMR messaged me and was like, the under 2.5 is like -150. And I was like, that's a dumb number because Do Bronx pushes an absolute ridiculous pace and is obviously a violent finisher, and so is Gaethje. So when I got it loaded up, it actually dropped to -130. I played that for 3 units. That's wild to me. Both these guys are absolute finishers. I do think Do Bronx is going to be the one to do it. Gives me a little bit of insurance, but I think I'm also going to bet Do Bronx inside the distance as well.
Brad?
Yeah, there are so many ways for Do Bronx to win this fight. I mean, it's almost ridiculous to think about because Gaethje has no brain, so he's probably not going to knock him out with strikes to the head because it's already applesauce up there. But Gaethje hates getting hit to the body, absolutely despises it. And it took about 3 minutes of Do Bronx kneeing Dustin Poirier, who is a much harder man than Justin Gaethje, to the body before Poirier was absolutely broken. And if Gaethje wants to come out here and throw his little fucking calf kicks and all that bullshit, he's gonna get absolutely smoked to the body in this fight. I think that actually, from a technical perspective, the fact that Do Bronx relies so much on like a heavy Muay Thai style and gets that front leg up a whole bunch is going to prevent him from taking too much damage from the leg kicks. If he gets in tight, if he was shooting on Gaethje, just shooting doubles, he might have a little bit of trouble getting him to the ground doing that, but that's not how he gets takedowns. He either goes for the body lock or just jumps straight to your back. So I think you can take Gaethje down or control him in grappling either of those two ways. I mean, there's a ton of ways for Do Bronx to win this fight. So I put a little bit on the TKO plus 750 just because I could see something coming from the body in this one. But Do Bronx inside the distance at plus money is, I mean, that's silly. This man just finishes everybody. So that's the bet.
Yeah, obviously, I like Do Bronx here, and if he wins this fight, like all jokes aside, he has to be considered one of the, if not the greatest lightweights of all time with the run he's on. I think this would be like 11 or 12 straight. Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, all in a row. That's as good as it gets. This guy's not the quitter. I think people have talked about. He's faced a lot of adversity. All these times where everyone's talking about him quitting and all that stuff, like we're going back 5-6 years now for that stuff to happen. It's hard to judge a fighter and how he's progressed. It doesn't really make any sense anymore. And I think when you look at like the style of this fight, it's hard to throw a kick on Do Bronx because he wants to get you down. If you're throwing a bunch of kicks on Do Bronx, yes, he can work you to the body, but he can also just grab that leg and take you down. And Gaethje has some of the worst defensive grappling I've ever seen once he gets down. He cannot stop any submission. He cannot stop any passes. No matter if Do Bronx gets down, he's going to pass to wherever the fuck he feels like. Like there will be absolutely no resistance there. With that said, I know everyone thinks Do Bronx will take him down and he needs to do that. I think he is a much better striker at this point than Justin Gaethje. I think he works everything a lot better. You take the leg kicks away from Justin Gaethje, there's not a ton there. That's how he kind of opens up a lot of his offense. And Do Bronx in the clinch and the knees and just how precise he is. Gaethje's a lot wilder with his striking. Do Bronx is very precise. And Do Bronx has that alternate path to victory with the wrestling and getting him down. And I know Gaethje was a all-American wrestler, but he does not stop takedowns. He has no idea it's like he forgot how to wrestle since he got into MMA. And I think this is Do Bronx wherever he wants. I think it'll be on the feet a little bit. I think the first time that Do Bronx feels something even a little bit hard, I think he takes him down because I don't think he'll get much resistance. And I think especially with the body lock takedowns, that's a little unnatural for lighter wrestlers. Lighter wrestlers, you're almost always dealing with leg attacks or maybe some snap downs and stuff, but it's always the heavyweights and the bigger guys that are not heavyweights, but like bigger top half of wrestlers that are dealing with more body lock takedowns and stuff. Most of lightweight wrestling is going to be more in the legs, and Do Bronx doesn't wrestle like that. So I do think Do Bronx can get takedowns when he wants. I do think he can beat him on the feet. I do think he can work the body. It's going to be all Do Bronx here, and inside the distance plus 100 is wild. Like, this is a 5-round fight, minus 175 or so on the money line, and you're getting plus money on inside the distance from a guy that's going to finish almost everyone he faces. So that'll be the consensus.
Against the guy who got embarrassed by Khabib, the most boring wrestler of all time on the ground.
Yep. The guy he's turned into so well-rounded, and, you know, he wins this fight, he beats Gaethje, he finishes him. Who's left, right? You got that random boring Russian who would shoot into a guillotine and get choked out in 30 seconds. That's literally it right now. So, and that seems like the easiest fight in the division to me, for Do Bronx. Someone who wants to go to the mat with him. Like, give me a fucking break. So Do Bronx is gonna roll here. He's the best. He's the greatest. What can you say about the man? Good looking, nice hair. He's got it all. He's got it all.
Does the thing for the favelas.
He's big there. A lot of charity. Yep. He's the king of the favelas. Do Bronx.
I interrupted you when you said that this is the consensus. But obviously,
plus 105.
Consensus. There's a few obvious ones for consensus. This is one of them. But we thank everyone for listening. Fun show this week. Really good card. We'll be back next week for some celebration. Someone mentioned Volkanovski going up. That would be the most hilarious fight I've ever seen in my life. Just absolutely hilarious if Volkanovski tries to do that after the Max fight. But thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. Everyone enjoy the fights this weekend.